Well, a pleasant afternoon to you all. This is your girl Amora with the Monique Woolley Foundation. Hashtag when feeling blue, think yellow. We are here, but yet with another story. Miss Shannon Cash, which I told you, she is here and with a phenomenal story. For those of you who don't know us, but we are a nonprofit organization, a 501c3, and we are here to giving those a platform to share their story. So if you're at home and there's children around, that might not be what someone would want your children to hear. So just get a cup of coffee, a bottle of wine, a beer, or something like that, and sit back and listen because we do have a story to be told, a story to be heard. Okay, so here, thank you so much for joining us. And Miss Cash,
Yes.
Shannon Cash, and I can say, my friend, how are you today?
I'm good.
We are honored to be here, but I brought, look, yeah, but a
I'm
glass.
honored to be
Oh
here.
my goodness, look what I got. Look what I got. I got the famous,
San Antonio
yes, San Antonio, honey. And I love it. I love it so much. It is so wonderful.
wine. It
And
is.
so it is so grand. It's one of the ones that I like so much. So here you are.
Oh,
This is
thank
for you.
you.
Okay.
That's
Yes,
yours.
and we're gonna say a toast. We're gonna toast to you, to your
Thank
new
you.
beginning, to our new beginning with the Monique Woolley Foundation,
Yes.
because we have a journey that is going to come
Yes,
and it's
it
going to
is.
be phenomenal. So,
Wealth,
cheers.
health, happiness.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Mm.
Sensational.
My goodness, this is so good. Oh my goodness. But yes, allow me to just give you the platform to share your story and to let us into your journey, what you're doing now.
Oh my God. Where do I start?
In the beginning.
Oh my goodness. Well, I was born in 1978, August 9th, which is Whitney Houston's birthday, I might add.
Okay.
So, the goat. Oh my goodness. Well, I think my journey really started when I had my daughter when I was 17. My mom worked like 3, 4 jobs. My mom and dad divorced when I was 10, and I took over the household because my mom worked so much. And I think really, me wanting to not raise other people's kids, I had my own. And my journey started when I was 17, and I had my daughter Essence Cash. You know her as Exactly E on TikTok and also Instagram. And she's out there doing her thing. I'm so proud of her and my 2 beautiful grandbabies. And I think I always tell people this. I think, oh shoot, I'm not supposed to do that.
That's
I'm
okay.
not supposed to touch that. I think that's one of my biggest regrets is not being a nurturing mother. And I try to apologize to Essence as much as I can. Ayana Vanzant, if I'm mispronouncing her name, I apologize. She said I was a wonderful father, but I was a horrible mother. And, being in survival mode, you're pretty much your whole, existence of life, you tend to focus on providing and protecting and those things that generally a man is supposed to be doing. And I did that for my daughter. I saw a picture of her when she was playing basketball on the cones, and that was me training her. And I don't really, my daughter is a very sensitive subject, so that's why I'm talking about that right now. But my journey, I just, it's kind of hard to put it into words, like, because I've done it all and seen it all, and I don't think that I have seen it all and done it all, but I've traveled all over the world. I've had a phenomenal career as a loan officer, and now I'm selling cars, which I absolutely just adore doing. It's just so fun, and now I'm just at a point of peace and happiness. If you want to talk about my breakdown, we could talk about that.
Yes, by all
that's
means.
obviously a sensitive topic, but I went crazy.
Wow.
I did. I quit my job. I was making over, in July of 2022, I have a W-2 to prove it. They say Pixar, it didn't happen. I think I was at like 255,000 in July of 2022, so I hadn't even finished out the whole year, and I just quit. I packed up 3 suitcases and I left. I left the house, this beautiful house that I had, and it was just me in it, and I just cracked. And I think the pressure of just being a top performer, look at that beautiful yellow butterfly over there. That's Monique over there, which I know. I knew Monique.
Yes, yes.
And she's here with us right now.
Yes, I do know.
So, and I'll get into that a little bit later. That's going to get a little personal, but I cracked. I just, hindsight's always 2020, and it was all for a reason. It was all for a purpose, because I think money was my motivation. And when you're always chasing money, you're never going to find happiness.
That's right.
I think finding happiness and let the money chase you. Like if you're doing something that you're passionate about or you're happy about, you're never going to work a day in your life. And when I go sell cars, I literally get there and I don't feel like I'm working. I really don't. I genuinely really enjoy doing that. And I'm at a really place of peace. And I was honored to have, asked me to be a part of this foundation, because this is my goal in life, is to motivate people and inspire people to know that it's going to be okay. But for the last 2.5 years, I didn't think it was going to be okay. I don't even know. Through God's grace, I'm here to tell this story, but I didn't want to be here. I just didn't. I lost it all. When you're going from making $400,000 plus a year and have everything you want, go where you want, eat where you want, and mind you, I didn't have anybody supporting me. This was just all me on a hustle and grind. I worked at Loan Depot for three something years. I was one of their top performers there. I was on Anthony Shade's private jet. My first 3 months there, I won a contest. It's just I'm a phenomenal salesperson, and because I know how to connect with people. I know how to understand them. I'm not going to say I'm an empath, but I can feel their energy, just based on some of the things that they say. And sometimes being an empath, you actually feel too much and you take too much in. And I think a lot of empaths do go through depression because we feel more than the average person feels. And, that's just a very challenging way to navigate through life sometimes. And as a loan officer, I try to explain this to people. I would have like 20 to 30 people in my pipeline, just trying to get their loans done, dealing with 20 to 30 different personalities every single month, then also dealing with people from your job's personality. And then not only that, dealing with people you're trying to bring in new business and dealing with their personalities. So imagine how many different personalities you're having to, cater to every single day, and it just got too much, and I cracked, and I cracked in a very public manner, and I hurt you. I hurt so many. I hurt a lot of my family, but I was telling truth. I spoke fact on everything that I said, and anything in that public platform. When I did it on Facebook, that was all truth, because I don't stutter. The truth is the truth. And, if you don't like your part of the story that I told the truth about, that's on you. But I think God wanted me to shed, because I had a lot of baggage. I had a lot of everything. And I really had to go into a cocoon, and that cocoon was me in severe depression, me wanting to die, me wanting to end my life. So I'm here though.
Yes, you are.
I am. I'm not going to cry. And I'm here. I have a purpose, and kindness and compassion is a true superpower. And I think if we operate in that a little bit more, I think we'll all be okay. Yeah. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions?
Mm.
But I do have something to say about
today.
Monique, though.
There's no questions today.
No.
Today's just all about you and these tears, these really true feelings and emotions that you're feeling right now.
Yeah.
You can elaborate a
You
little
look
bit more.
fabulous. She's got her own little style going on, doesn't she?
Yes, she does.
So there is a moment that I do want to tell you. And the only reason why I didn't, or of course the music and things like that, and my parents, if it wasn't for my dad and my stepmom, I wouldn't be here. They allowed me to just sit in my room and rot, I was working a little bit, but I didn't want to be a loan officer anymore, so I quit that job. But I sat in my room and I just rotted. Like, it was just, you know how they say that phrase, couch rotting? I was just laying in the bed, just figuring out how I'm going to do it, when I'm going to do it. You know, they would go on trips and I was like, this would be the time I would do it. And, you know, I thought, like, Monique would come and I would think, like, I wonder what she was thinking when she did that. And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And I think she was there because every time I wanted to, I just thought about her. And I just wonder what her thought process was. Does she just, you know, but God has a bigger purpose, and I know this is hard to hear, but this foundation and things that you're gonna do and that you have been doing and the things that you will do, maybe it was for a reason. You just don't know. That's okay. You just don't know. And I know, Monique, I know, Amor, this is hard to hear, but there's a reason. And maybe she's just supposed to be here watching over you, watching over me, watching over so many people that want to do this. And I feel like my best friend died at the height of her life, Maureen. She's always with me. Kobe died at the height of his life, and I think sometimes we're scared to be happy because we see people at their happiest moments and then something happens and it just is devastating and you don't want it to be taken away. And so anyway, that's why this ball is here, because you can't be scared to be happy.
No.
You just got to live your life with God on your side.
Amen.
I think that, you know, it got to a point where I had no choice but to believe in God. I mean, I always believed in God. I never, you know, in the story of Job, when God took everything away from him, and there's so many stories in the Bible. And by all means, I'm not a Bible thumper. I do not go to church every Sunday, or I don't go to church at all. You do. You definitely do. You walk in the faith.
I do.
Yes,
Because,
but right now is church.
Yes.
I think when two people touch hands and agree,
Yes.
and they profess the word of God, I think that's church.
Amen.
And I feel like I walk church. I live in it. I want to embody that without having to go in four walls, because I think in this reality and in this environment that we're living in, so many people have lost faith in God because of, you know, what their negative connotations of church. And I feel like there's another way to bring people to God. And I feel like walking the walk and talking the talk and just embodiment of being Christ-like, I think that is going to bring people closer to God than any four walls in church will ever do.
Right.
And I think on TikTok, shout out to TikTok, but they had this thing, it was like this trend where people was like, I didn't meet God in church. Mm-hmm. I didn't meet him in church. I met him at my lowest points of life. And I think that people need to understand that, you know, church is just, God is just within you. Because my God curses at me. I don't know about your God, but he curses at me.
Oh, he's very real with me, honey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a real relationship. A sip? Okay. Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers. Have a blessed day.
Absolutely.
So, anywho, that's what I think. And I think that God gave me this, and I have this, and I know you guys are probably going to think I'm crazy, but I have this tattoo that says chosen. And I feel like, you know, like I was saying earlier, God chooses his strongest soldiers for certain battles. And if I can save one life, if you can save one life, I think if we all can save one life, then that's all that matters. I just feel that, I think Kobe, that memorial he had of just, did you go see it?
I did not get a chance to. I was in Houston,
right,
at my mother-in-law's funeral.
Oh,
yeah.
Condolences.
Thank you.
You just read the stories, and this is why I have this Kobe tribute ball right here. Mm-hmm. It's not the destination, it's the journey, Kobe Bryant. And I have him tatted on my, we were born, his birthday is August 23rd. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, August 24th, August 23rd, it's one of the two. Sorry, Kobe. he was born in 78. I was born on August 9th, 1978. And I feel like we grew up together. And I stopped watching basketball when he kind of retired. And I just, I love the game of basketball. But, it was like he was like my brother, in a way. And anyway, my point is that on these murals, there were like these big white boards. And people were coming out and they were writing stories on what he did to motivate them, like people that wanted to die and they didn't give up because of his mentality. And you see all these rows and rows and rows and rows of just these emotional stories of people pouring their hearts out, and then you can just read all these beautiful stories. And I just think to myself, the world stopped when he died. The world just stopped. And that's when COVID hit. And I feel like there was an axis, or whatever that phrase is. It was just a shift. And, I want to inspire people. That's his definition of greatness, just inspiring people to be their best version of themselves and find their passion and just go for it. Just live bold and just live and just be happy. I think happiness is just, look at that beautiful yellow butterfly over there. You see it?
I see them all over the place, and that's Mo letting me know that it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
And that's one of our mottos, is that we say that it's okay not to be okay, because mental health must be a priority. It must be a priority. But I want to ask you one question, if you don't mind.
Yes.
At what point did you decide that, hey, listen, I do not want to expire, I do not want to commit suicide, I want to live? What motivates you outside of Kobe? And what speak to your core? Because I think some people need to understand that it's not just, a thought. It has to come within. It's got to set in, and that it's got to be a choice. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
That's a loaded question, because there's a person. I mean, obviously, a lot of my friends and family were praying for me that I wasn't around. So I know I was in people's prayers, because...
Well, you were definitely in my prayer, without a doubt.
I appreciate that.
And I hope you felt it, because I was sending it through, the Holy Spirit. And I couldn't hear from you, I couldn't speak to you, but I spoke to the family, and I wanted them to let you know that, listen, I have her up in prayer, and God got her. She's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think anybody believed me then, but there was something that I felt inside.
This is 21. He's 21. His name is Billy Rice at Cardinale Way, Hyundai.
Okay.
And he's one of the top performers, which I beat him the first month.
Okay.
That I got on the floor.
It's a cheer for that one.
Yes. I shook those guys up in that dang place. Anyway, they were caught slipping. But anyway, he is a true believer in God. And, he asked me a little bit about myself, and I just kind of gave him a snippet of what happened to me, and how I ended up at Cardinale Way, which the owner of the company, he owns 26 dealerships throughout the West Coast. It's a Christian faith company, and that's the motto that they live by. So his name is Billy Rice, and I told him a little bit about my story and how I ended up there, and then he was like, Shannon, let's pray. And he prayed this prayer, and he was bawling, crying. And he's like, God's going to restore everything and give you way more. And from that day on, I stopped smoking cigarettes. Well, there was more for money, because, people don't like the smell of cigarettes, when you're showing cars and stuff. But, it was that day, it changed my life. I'll never, ever forget Billy. That's my boy for life. And I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful that I'm here. I'm grateful that the journey that I'm going to be on, and what this ball is representing, and the things that are in store that I don't want to really broadcast yet, that I'm going to keep saying, but there's so many things in the works right now. And I didn't realize how many numbers I had in my phone of being a social butterfly. I had people on speed dial, and all I had to do was make a phone call and say, I'm thinking about doing this. And they were like, okay, how long have I been telling you to do this? Literally like that. So the doors are just opening in ways. When they say God parted the Red Sea, that's what's happening for me. And it's just what happens if I would have given up.
You would have never known.
I would have never known. And I think that's why I didn't give up either, because I'm a little nosy.
Yes.
I want to see what's
Please
going
be
on.
nosy.
I like to know what's going on in the world.
Okay.
Anyway.
So you say you were going to say a little something about Monique.
She's a beautiful soul.
You were there for me.
I was.
And I want to say thank you for that.
You're welcome.
When I got the phone call, it was dramatic, and you were there.
I was.
And I just want to say thank you for that. If I know that I've said thank you many, many times, but I want to say it on camera. I so appreciate you being there and every step of the way up until we put her to rest.
Yeah.
That you, because she cared for you. And
I care for her.
And you know, how many times has she put your makeup on? How many times would I tell her put my lashes on? But please,
remember we had that the vision board party at our house.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun.
And the baby was just born. Yeah, with Essence, she came and
oh wow.
Oh man,
Ethan.
Ethan. Yes, yes, and we have
my grandstar.
I still have those photos, and that
really?
Yes, and that the film.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that. I really do, and I appreciate that. But out of all of the survivors, you're the only one who can speak of knowing Monique, and that meant a lot to me.
To see what you're accomplishing and what you're doing and where you're headed with the foundation and the people that you're going to touch. I'm definitely honored to be a part of that, and God makes no mistakes. And it's just, I just remembered what you went through with that, and that was one of the reasons that stopped me. And plus too, my my parents know what I'm talking about. In the backyard, there's like this area where you can do something if you wanted to, but I wasn't in shape, and it was hurting my quads or whatever, my thighs, and I was just like, oh, I had to stand up because it hurt. So I was like, oh, yeah.
We can laugh about this now. But,
I can.
And that's why I believe that laughter is the best medicine.
It is.
And we have to laugh at ourselves and laugh at scenarios and, of life, you know what I mean? And know that it's going to be okay. You know what I mean? This too shall pass. You know what I mean?
I can laugh now. But I wasn't laughing 3 months ago. I was in a very, very dark place for 2 years. And I just think I just kept focusing on all the things that I lost instead of focusing on what I could possibly gain. But God had to strip me of all the money and all of everything that was a representation of me to make me realize that none of that mattered. I was always Shannon Cash. I was always that social butterfly. I was always that person that can connect with people, and at this point I feel like he's giving me back 10 times more with a different foundation, which is a foundation of God, and just walking a different path to show people that you can have a personal relationship with him in your own way at your own time, and that's all that matters, and that's all that he wants. He just wants the praise. He just wants to say, because see, here's the thing, and that's what people don't realize. Like, how are we supposed to know God exists?
Yeah.
The only way anybody knows that God exists is by his people down here that are going to give testimonies.
His ambassadors.
How else are we supposed to know that God exists? It's just no other way. By people like you and I. That's what it's about. We're going to shout it from the highest amount of rooftops that I would not be here without my parent, my dad, my stepmom, people that were praying over me, praying for me, and God. That it's just there's just no other way. And the connections that I've made at that dealership and the people that I have connected with, and hearing their journey, their path, and where they're going. And a lot of the people that I work with, our journeys are kind of aligned right now. Khalil Fuller, shout out. You'll see him. He's a funny comedian. Follow him on TikTok. He's funny. You'll see him. Trust me. He's a big old 6'8", burly man.
Oh my goodness.
And he sings too, actually. But yeah. So, anywho, I mean, I could just really go on and on. I don't think we have too much time on the. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some questions that people are going to ask, and
yes,
things like
they're all
that.
welcome to do that, and it will, and we will have a gathering of the WFBTY Circle of Healing. This is what we call it. When they address the questions to you, we then bring up a group of our survivors and address those questions. Those are the Q&R moments.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to meeting some of the other survivors.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. At our gala. The gala is coming up.
Yes. When is that going to be?
That will be in November 7th, and where the venue location will be announced at a later time. But we welcome everyone who wants to support all of our survivors who've told their story for the year 2024 to come and to support. And we are honoring them. We're going to honor them for saying thank you. Thank you for your strength. Thank you for your resilience. Thank you for telling your story. And we're sure that somebody's going to resonate to what it is that you're doing, and we're going to make an impact in our communities. And I'm very excited about that. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being so authentic. Thank you for being you.
Thank you.
Cash, Cash. I call you Cash Money. You know what I mean?
Cash
That was
Money.
Cash
Take
Money.
it to the bank because my last name is Cash.
Okay.
Shannon Mama Mentality Cash.
Okay.
Check that.
Okay, there you go. What can I say? Yeah, so I just want, on behalf of the Monique Woolley Foundation, we just want to say thank you. And we always ended up with this: when feeling blue, think yellow.